What was like if we can kind of give like a little bit of a timeline as far as like when you first encountered this family, like can you remember when was the first time that you met them or met the guy himself first before you met the family or even when you met the family and what initially caught your attention?
Well, I met him in 2017 when he answered an ad for a. I was looking for someone to paint a ceiling in the building I had just purchased, and him and his wife answered the ad. My first initial encounter with them was I thought they were late, so I thought they just jumped out of bed and came in. They looked crazy. Their hair was all over the place. Uh, that day, there wasn't really a smell to them. The first day, they just looked weird. And the next time I saw them a few days later, they looked the same way. So I just figured, okay, well, this is what they look like. They're never gonna. Sometimes you're waiting and waiting and waiting for someone to, you know. I was waiting for them to look better, and they just never did. So I just figured that's how they looked. And then when I met some of the kids, they looked the same way, hair all over the place, clothes, and but they were also working. But then I also seen them some days they weren't working and they still looked the same. So I just took it as they were, they were weird. Nothing else. There was nothing there to make me think that what I know now was actually going on.
And initially, like the look, like their look with them having all of the stuff in the car, they looked like they were homeless initially, right? Like just
Well,
as far as their look.
well, yes. In the beginning, I thought they were homeless. When they showed up for that initial, not interview, but the initial job, I actually thought they were homeless. They had a van, and I figured, okay, they're homeless, and they have a van. They slept in their van. I didn't see any clothes. I just saw them from afar. But after they started working, a few days in, the wife would have to go to the car to get a tool, and she would pull out all these clothes, just some clothes in bags or some clothes in totes. And I thought it was weird. This then another time she had to go to the van to get something. I actually went outside, and I was like, "Why do you have to take all them clothes out of the car? And why do you have food in the car? Why do you have bread, meat, cereal?" That was real odd to me because no one carries that type of stuff in their car.
Right.
And her response was, "Well, when the kids got to eat when they go to church." I'm thinking, "How far is your church?" And so I still never thought anything. I just thought it was weird.
Now, this family of 11 lived in isolation and the children were hidden away. So, a lot of this stuff you wouldn't know just from looking at the situation from the outside looking in. So, how did this father maintain this secret for so long?
Well, they didn't actually live in isolation. They lived in plain sight. That's the issue, that he was able to do all of this in plain sight. They went to church. He took all the kids to church, not just one or two. He took all of them. They went to stores. They went out. They played outside, but they played outside at nighttime. Some things he didn't do as a huge family, but if you didn't know, you didn't know. He wasn't really, he was hiding them from like the system. They don't know how many kids they got because of food stamps and things like that. But he'll tell you he has 8 kids at home. He'll bring what, two and say he has eight, or bring two and says he has, he'll say he has seven. Kind of number changed every now and then, but we always knew he had a bunch of kids at home. But we never saw them. We only seen the older ones. He said the ones at home were younger, and he would leave an older one home to take care of them. Now, the one thing that did was strange to me. His wife saying she had little kids and was about to have some more, and she was in her 50s. Thinking you can't have any kids.
It's a big
So
red
that was
flag.
that was a red flag. That was one of them. That was one of the first ones. I'm like, she can't have any kids.